Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. I welcome you all to yet another exciting session on AWS. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Okay. This is our agenda for today's session. In the last session, we have learned how to create a Windows machine. We have experienced the concept of EC2, isn't it? We have experienced the concept of EC2. We have created a Windows machine. This is our plan for our today's session. We'll be learning how to create a Linux machine. Okay, we'll be experiencing how can we connect to the Linux machine using PuTTY. What is web server? We will make the Linux machine as web server, and we'll discuss about a web package. We'll be discussing about the term called security group. So this is all interesting topics for the today's session. So before getting into today's session, I want to have quick questions. I hope you have done hands-on. So let's have quick questions. When you create an EC2 machine, friends, please respond in the chat box if you know this answer. When you create an EC2 machine, at the end, it will ask you to download a file. Am I right? Once you complete all the 7 steps of creating an EC2 machine, at the last step, it will ask you to download a file. That file is called as what? You're right. The file is called as what? Keypair. And what is the file extension? The file extension of Keypair is what? A file with extension .pem. Perfect. Perfect. Next point. I have one more question. Let's say this is the AWS cloud platform and you have created a Windows machine yesterday, isn't it? Okay. From my personal laptop, respond in the chat box. From my personal laptop, I can successfully connect it to the Windows machine only when what is open. I can successfully connect to the Windows machine only when what should be open. You are right, the port should be open. Only when what should be open, the port should be open. For Windows machine, what port we need to open? Perfect. Thank you very much for your response. For Windows machine, what port we need to open? For Windows machine, I hope you remember, we have to open the RDP port. Perfect. What are the credentials required to connect to Windows machine? What are the credentials required to connect to Windows machine? Credentials are nothing but the login details. So you need to have DNS name, you need to have username. You're right, and you have to have a password. By default, you will not get the password. I hope you know it. How can we generate the password? You need to upload what file? You need to upload Keypair. Keypair is nothing but a file with extension .pem. You upload the PEM file, then only it will ask you to you can generate the password, and you can using that password you can connect to that particular Linux machine. Thank you very much. So quick recap of the concepts what we have discussed in the last session. Thank you very much. Let's stop the chat so that we can focus on the training. Okay. Thank you very much. This is a plan for our today's session. So we'll be learning how to create a Linux machine. Yesterday we have seen how to create a Windows machine. Today we are learning how to create a Linux machine. Okay, we are learning how to create a Linux machine. Not just creating a Linux machine, also learn how can we connect to that Linux machine. Okay, let's experience. How to log into AWS? How to log into AWS Cloud? Yes, you are right. The URL is aws.amazon.com. Yes, you are right. The URL is aws.amazon.com. Sign in. What are the login details? You need to sign in with your email address and password, which you have signed up at the time of creation. Logged in. What is a service? In AWS, you have hundreds of services. What is the service which is used for creating virtual machines on cloud? Yes, you are right. The service is what? EC2. The EC2 dashboard looks like this. So EC2 machines are called as what? EC2 machines are called as instances. Please use this terminology. So instances. So these are the existing instances which I have. Okay. So do not worry about the instances. Can you see this is the instance which you have created in the last session? That is a Windows instance. That's fine. So please ignore the existing instances. What's our plan for today? As our agenda is to learn how to create a Linux machine, let's experience the way we need to create a Linux machine. Let's experience the process of creating a Linux machine. Please look at this. Please look at this. Very important. Every point, I promise, my promise is whatever I'm training, it will be 100% clear. I hope you already started experiencing it. Okay, so please focus on this 1 hour. So let's learn something new in this session. We'll be learning how to create a Linux machine, not just Linux machine. We'll also experience how can we connect to the Linux machine. Let's proceed. Creating a Linux machine. How to create, whether it is a Linux machine or Windows machine, whichever machine you want to create, you need to launch instances. Step 1, choose Amazon machine image. Step 1, choose Amazon machine image. In simple words, it's nothing but selecting an operating system, isn't it? You can select any Linux, whichever you want. You can see we have Amazon Linux, we have Red Hat Linux, we have SUSE Linux. There are different flavors of Linux. Okay, so I'm going with Amazon Linux. 64-bit operating system. Step 1, selecting an operating system, done. Step 2, instance type. There are different types of instances, high configuration instances, low configuration instances. But the only instance which is eligible for free tier is T2 Micro. That means this particular Linux machine comes with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Obviously, take the default. How many number of instances? Step 3 is all about number of instances. At a single wizard, you can go ahead and create 100 instances, whatever you want. But I want to go with only one instance. Storage is nothing but the hard disk. Whenever you're creating a Linux machine or Windows machine, this is a AWS cloud platform. Whenever you're creating a Linux machine or a Windows machine, you should think about 3 components. Friends, you should always think about 3 components. What are the 3 components? What is the RAM of that particular machine? That's nothing but memory, the CPU, and the hard disk. So this T2 micro instances comes with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. And coming to hard disk, that's all about storage. That is step 4. AWS is allocating you 8 GB of storage for this particular machine. Have you observed for Windows machine, AWS has allocated 30 GB. I hope you have observed it or not. Please look at the recording. But Linux machine, it is allocating 8 GB of storage. Yes, that's more than enough. So I'm going with the 8 GB of storage. Okay, that's fine. So I got to know the hardware configurations. Next. Tags, don't worry about the tags. Tags are providing the name. You can do it later. Next. What step 6 is very important. Step 6 is very important. Configure security group. Security group is all about opening the ports. Security group is all about dealing with ports. Not just creating a Linux machine. You should able to successfully connect to that Linux machine. Agree? Not just creating a Linux machine, you should able to successfully connect to that Linux machine. When can you successfully connect to the Linux machine? Friends, when can we successfully connect to the Linux machine? You know the answer. You can successfully connect to the Linux machine only when what should be open? Port should be open. Yes, you are right. What should be open? Port should be open. For Windows machine, what port we have opened? RDP port. For Linux machine, you need to open what port? SSH port. Secure shell port we need to open. SSH Linux we can communicate to Linux instances using SSH port. So you don't need to worry about the port. It is guiding you. Did I select this port? No, it automatically understands that you're creating a Linux machine. It is prompting you. Yesterday it has prompted RDP port. Now here it is showing that you need to open SSH port. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm opening SSH port. Fine. And It's always better to provide a name to the security group. Yesterday we have not discussed about this. It's always better to provide a name to the security group. Okay, it's always better to name so that you can refer it later. Why should we refer it later? I'll explain you. It's always better to provide a name to the security group. What should be the name of the security group? Let's take a note of it so that we can refer it later. It's always better to provide a name of the security group. What is the security group name? Let's name it as sample security group with today's date. Today is 8. Okay, any name you can write it. Provide the name to the security group. Let's have the description, same name, same as name. And this particular security group is what port is helping us to open which port? SSH port. That's it. Click on review and launch. Remember, we are creating a Linux machine, Amazon Linux machine with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. And what port we have opened to this particular Linux machine? SSH port. Review the details. All our details are perfectly correct. And click on launch. When you click on launch, it will ask you to download a key pair. You know that. Select an existing key pair or create a new key pair. Please proceed with creating a new key pair. Key pair name can be anything. Key pair name can be anything. So I write it as Linux with today's date, Linux KP with today's date 8. So I download the key pair. Please remember, where are you downloading the key pair? Are you downloading in the downloads folder or desktop folder, or you have created a special folder? Anywhere you can download. I think yesterday we have created one a new folder. Yes, under Sunil, under desktop, Sunil AWS is the name of the folder. I'm saving the key pair. Yes. And you know the key pair is file extension .pem. Yes, click on launch instances. You are done. The instances are now running. Scroll down, view instances. What machine it is? A Linux machine. So let's name it as Linux. Perfect. Is it difficult? Nothing special. This last session we have experienced the Windows machine creation, and today we have experienced the Linux machine creation. As simple as that. Only thing is just changing the operating system in the Amazon machine image. I have selected Linux operating system, and keep in mind that when you're creating Linux machine, you need to open what port? SSH port. And you have provided a name to the security group. What's the name of the security group? Sample SG8. Perfect. The Linux machine is ready. Okay. Linux machine is ready. Okay. Now we should also learn, friends. We should all. This is my laptop. We should also learn how can I connect to that Linux machine. We should also learn how can we connect to the Linux machine. Please focus here. For Windows machine, do you remember we have used a application called remote desktop connection? That is for Windows machine. For Linux machine, if you want to connect to Linux machine, we need a terminal called as PuTTY. What is PuTTY? PuTTY is a terminal. PuTTY is a terminal which is used to connect to Linux machine. We have successfully created Linux machine, isn't it? Yes, you are right. So Linux machine is successfully created. The Linux machine is successfully running on AWS cloud. In which region? Mumbai region. As per my requirement, I have created Linux machine somewhere in Mumbai. I am from Hyderabad. I want to connect to that Linux machine. How do I connect? You need a terminal. What is the terminal which is used? The terminal is called as PuTTY. So what we should do? You should download PuTTY in your personal laptop because you are planning to connect from your personal laptop, right? Friends, are you planning to connect from your personal laptop? Yes, you are planning to connect from your personal laptop. In such case, you need to install PuTTY on your personal laptop. Yes, you have to do that. It's a small software. I'll show you how to install PuTTY in your personal laptop. So PuTTY is a terminal. PuTTY is a terminal which is used to connect to Linux machine. So open Google. Search for PuTTY download. Select this download PuTTY. You can download PuTTY from here. It directs to chairk.greenand.org. That's the right site. Very important. Select this 64-bit because my Windows is 64-bit. So download it in my downloads folder. Putty.exe. It's getting downloaded. Install. Open it. Just less than a minute. It's a very small software. So Putty is this is ready. I have downloaded Putty. It's an exe file. Just double click it. That gets open. So the terminal is also ready. Terminal is also successfully installed on my personal laptop. So click on just search for Putty. You get the putty.exe file. So just open it. The Putty's terminal is ready. I repeat again, Putty is a terminal which is used to connect to the Linux machine. We have successfully created Linux machine. That part is learned. That part is done. So we are learning how can we connect. If you want to connect to Linux machine, we need a terminal called as Putty, and we have also learned how to download the Putty. Putty is up and running. Putty is ready now. Next, very important. If you want to connect using Putty, no doubt you can connect it, but Putty needs PPK file. Stands for Putty private key. You can connect successfully to the Linux machine from Putty, but Putty needs what file? Putty needs PPK file. When you are creating an EC2 machine, AWS has provided what file? PEM file. What AWS has provided? AWS has provided what file? AWS has provided PEM file, but the PEM file is useless. Putty don't want PEM file. Putty cannot understand PEM file. Putty can understand PPK file. Whenever you are launching the EC2 machine, at the last step, it is asking you to download a key pair. Key pair is nothing but a file extension.pem. You know that. But Putty cannot understand PEM file. Putty needs what file? PPK file. What you need to do? You need to convert. Friends, this is important. You need to convert. What file you need to convert? What AWS has provided? AWS has provided PEM file with extension.pem. You need to convert PEM file to which file? Friends, tell me, you need to convert the PEM file to which file? You are right. You need to convert the PEM file to PPK file. Because Putty needs PPK file. So you need to convert the PEM file to PPK file. Once you successfully convert the PEM file to PPK file, then you can successfully connect using Putty. Obviously, your next question could be, Sunil, how can we convert the PEM file to PPK file? You can convert the PEM file. For that conversion, you need an application called as PuttyGen. Putty key generator. Gen stands for generate. It generates the PPK file. Upload the PEM file. It generates the PPK file. You have to upload the PEM file. So we need to have special application called PuttyGen. So PuttyGen is used to convert the PEM file to PPK file. So don't get confused. Putty is different and PuttyGen is different. Putty is a terminal which is used for connecting to Linux machine. That's what. Finally, you need Putty. Putty needs PPK file. AWS has provided PEM file. You know that AWS has provided PEM file. So we need to convert the PEM file to PPK file. For that, we need an application called as PuttyGen. So what you have to do? Obviously, you need to download PuttyGen in your personal laptop. Am I right? So how to download PuttyGen? So as usual, go to Google. PuttyGen download. PuttyGen download. The best site is chairk.greenan.org. This is the right site. chairk.greenan.org. The same site which we have downloaded Putty. Scroll down. PuttyGen. Download PuttyGen. I'm downloading it in my downloads folder. PuttyGen is downloaded. So just less than few seconds it gets downloaded. It's a small application. So open PuttyGen. Putty key generator. PuttyGen stands for Putty key generator. What it will do? It will generate the PPK file. I hope I'm very clear. So I have generator open. Now what I need to do? I need to upload What file I need to upload? I need to upload PEM file. Where is the PEM file available? Please look at this. My PEM file is available in my desktop, a Sunil AWS folder, and this is the PEM file. Which one? Linux kp8.pem file. So load is nothing but upload the PEM file in my desktop. Go for all files option, where you will find the PEM file. I have uploaded the PEM file. Yes, successfully imported. Successfully have uploaded the PEM file. You have uploaded the PEM file. Now what you need to do, save private key. Save, you need to download. You have, for download, you need to click on save private key. Are you sure you want to save it? Yes. Where do you want to save it? In the same location. The PPK file can be anything. PPK file can be anything. It can be any name. It can be any name. I'm just writing ABCD. It can be any name with extension .ppk. Successful. Successful. You can see that. You can see the location. The PPK file is ready. The PPK file is ready. I have converted the PEM file to PPK file. I have successfully converted the PEM file to PPK file. How can we successfully convert the PEM file to PPK file? By using an application called as Putigen. I have shown you how to download. I am very clear, participants. To get the best of the training, I strongly recommend you to do hands-on. To get the best of the training, I strongly recommend you to do hands-on. So I have successfully converted the PEM file to PPK file. Clear? Clear about this? Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So before moving on, let's have quick questions. Many are having some questions. Starting with Koteshwar. Good morning, Koteshwar. Can you hear me?
Yes, Sunil.
How are you?
Good evening.
Yeah, you're from which
Good morning.
location?
I'm from Oregon, US.
Okay. Welcome to the session. So how is your experience?
It's really nice, Sunil, and thanks a lot for doing all these. I got to know about this from a friend.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I started with the last batch and it was 4 a.m. to me. I could not able to make it.
Okay.
Now
Probably
I
this is the
started
best time.
Yeah, this is best time, so I chose it.
Okay.
It's going
Yes.
really well. It's going really well. My doubt is, we have been talking about this .pem file, right? And we
Yeah.
are downloading it to our local, and we are storing our user IDs and password. What if we, in some worst scenario, if we lost this .pem file or our credentials?
Okay.
How can we?
Okay. There are cases sometimes we may lost the PEM file. Okay. So in such case, there is a step of, we have to follow some 10-step process which helps you to regenerate the PEM file. That's not a problem. Okay.
Oh, that is all I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much for your feedback. Thank you very much.
you.
Let's move on. Dinesh Chari.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dinesh.
Yeah, sir, I'm from Karimnagar.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I have known about you from one of the HR.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I have joined the group 1 year back itself, but
Okay.
due to some storage issues, I have deleted and installed that Telegram. Recently, I
Okay.
have installed, and I have seen the recordings. I mean, you have sent it in that group, WhatsApp group also.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
gone
Okay.
through it.
Okay.
Sir, actually, I mean, I have gone through it, and it was beautiful. I mean, amazing.
Yeah. Yes, your technical question, please. Let's get into technical aspects.
I have no technical issues, sir. I was
No,
good.
no. Thank you, Dinesh. Okay. Yes, Satish, your question, please. I can see your hand raised. Satish, you are allowed to unmute yourself and you can have a talk. Nagarjuna, good morning. Can you hear me? Your question.
Yes, Sunil. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I don't have technical side questions. I have only one concern that I am working in Infosys from last 5 years, and
On which platform? What is your current platform?
yeah, my platform is that Linux, Unix, and Sun Solaris web logic
Administration.
application server administrator.
Very good. Okay.
So I'm looking to I would like to learn AWS with DevOps. So
Okay.
is that can learn or a little bit tough to learn?
You can
So
learn. This course is a pure AWS course. There is no DevOps in it. Okay. We are starting DevOps soon. Okay.
yeah.
You'll get the update. You are in the WhatsApp group, Nagarjuna? In
No,
our
no, I tried to join yesterday, but it is throwing an error like the group is already full, something like that I'm getting.
Okay, so you're not part of a WhatsApp group.
Yep, yep, yeah.
1 minute, please. How do you got to know that? In that case, how did you get to know? Generally, we got to know about the WhatsApp groups.
Actually, one of my friends joined on 71 batch, so
Hmm.
he referred me. This is the person is giving that classes is good.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I got to know
So
that.
please have a look at the chat box. So as you are not part of the WhatsApp group, I'm sending you a WhatsApp group link. Okay.
Yeah.
So please copy that link and then join using that particular link. Any technical questions?
I don't have right now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Sampath. Good morning, Sampath.
Yeah, good morning, Sunil. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, actually, yesterday I instructed like how to create instant in for Windows, right?
Yes.
Actually, I just experienced it, and I just noticed that the region was different. Like
Oh,
yesterday, when you created, it was showing as Mumbai location,
yes.
and after creating, I just noticed it was Ohio state. So, will it
That's
be
not a problem. You can create the instances in a different region, Ohio also, whatever it is. Okay.
okay? So.
So, but remember in which regions you are creating the instances, because if you forget it, the instances will keep on running. Then we will exceed the free tier limitations. Sampath, you know the AWS account what we are creating is a free tier account, isn't it?
Yeah.
So better stick to one region. So I recommend you to switch. You can switch. You can select any region whichever you want. Okay.
Okay.
Select any region you can use if you want, and whatever you have yesterday you have created that Ohio region. Please terminate that mission. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Terminating is nothing but permanently removing. Okay.
Okay.
Don't not stopping. Terminating is nothing but permanently removing. Permanently remove it and switch to Mumbai and make sure that from now you always create your infrastructure in Mumbai region. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But
Then
in
one.
fact, any region does not make any difference. Sampath, okay.
Okay. Okay. And then one more question.
Yes.
Sunil, I'm into like the testing platform.
Uh-huh.
So once after doing this AWS thing, you know, how is it good to switch over to
Are you planning to
AWS?
switch your platform from testing to a different
Yeah.
technology?
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now you're learning AWS. I recommend you to also learn DevOps course, Sampath, because combination of AWS and DevOps is right now very good.
Okay.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
have more bright chances once you complete both the courses. You have to create your profile. You
Okay.
have to mention total years of experience, how much you're having, Sampath.
Like around 10 years of experience.
Around 10 years of experience. So latest 2 years of experience, you should put it on AWS and DevOps. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
As you have total 10 years of experience, latest 2 years you put it on AWS and DevOps, and the previous 8 years you have your actual experience. So that's how you project that you have worked on AWS and DevOps. So you will start receiving the calls and you can switch. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Many
okay.
are successful in this particular formula. Okay. So please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Anything more, Sampath?
No, that's also.
Thank you very much. How
Yeah.
do you got to know about this?
Yeah, one of my friends referred, and from one of the QA group, I just got the link,
QA
and
group. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Many from our previous batches are from QA and testing. And,
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Sampath.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's have a final call so that I can move into subject again. Bharani Sriram. Good morning. I can see your hand raised, Bharani. Yeah.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Yeah. Thank you.
No, actually, I also have same doubt that when I create the account yesterday, it's showing me the same region. So you cleared my doubt.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jyoti Shanmugam. Any questions? I can see your hand raised. Ravi Kumar. Any questions? Ravi Kumar, you are allowed to unmute. If you have no questions, please drop your hand. Huzafe.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Hello.
sir. My question is that if I have taken the service of AWS, but after some time, due to any economic issue or any other issue, I want to convert my cloud service from Amazon to Azure. So it is possible for me to transfer all my data from AWS to Azure.
So there are different services called data migration services, in which you can migrate your infrastructure from AWS to Azure. Okay, you have to use
Okay,
those
sir.
services.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Satish, can we have a quick talk again? Kalapu Satish, if you don't mind. Can we have talk again? Satish? Koteshwar.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we have a talk? Is that fine? Okay. Which terminal is used to connect to Linux machine? Which terminal? What is the terminal? Okay, you are back to mute. Okay, that's fine. That's not a problem. The terminal which is used to connect to Linux machine is PuTTY. Finally, you need to connect using PuTTY, but PuTTY needs what file? I hope I'm very clear. PuTTY needs what file? PuTTY needs PPK file, PuTTY private key. But AWS does not provide PPK file. AWS provides a file with extension .pem that's called as a key pair. You have to convert the PEM file to PPK file. We have successfully converted using the tool called PuTTygen. You can see it in the folder. This is the PEM file which AWS provided, and we have converted the PEM file to PPK file. Fine. It's always good to maintain the same name so that you can relate this PPK file is generated out of which PEM file, but you can have a different name. That's not a problem. The PPK file is ready. Once the PPK file is ready, how can we connect? How can we connect? So finally, you need an application called as PuTTY for connecting. I'm opening the terminal called as PuTTY. Host name. Select the machine whichever you want. This is a machine you want to connect. Select the machine and then click on connect. Go to SSH client. Okay. Look at this is the SSH command. Don't pick up the complete SSH command. Just pick up username @DNS name. This particular part. Okay. Pick up this particular part. Username @DNS name. So I'm showing you. Just pick up this particular part. EC2-user @ the DNS name. So this is what you need to mention it in the host name. This should be the host name. So mention the host name. That's it. PuTTY needs what file? PPK file. So you have to mention where exactly the PPK file is available under SSH, under authentication, private key. That's nothing but PPK file. Browse and mention where exactly you have saved your PPK file, which helps you to connect. I have saved my PPK file in desktop. Sunil AWS is the name of the folder. Yes, in that there is a PPK file, ABCD PPK file. Yes, and click on open. That's it. Are you sure you want to connect to this particular Linux machine? Yes. Looks like some issues. Looks like some issues. Give me some time. Maybe the way we have generated the PPK file could be different. Yes, you are connected. I just followed. I'll show you. Putty is a terminal. Host name. You know what should be the host name. Copy paste the host name. Go to SSH. Under authentication, mention the PPK file abcd.ppk file. Just click on open. Are you sure you want to connect? Yes, you have connected. For better visibility, let's increase the font size. Okay. For better visibility, so that it will be very clear. I hope this is better now. Yes. You have successfully connected to the Linux machine. You might have a question. Sunil, what is the proof that you have successfully connected? You get the IP address 172.31.32.140. Are you getting the same IP address? Yes, that's the proof. You have successfully can learn Linux commands, whichever you want, you can do that. I have not only just shown you how to create a Linux machine, I have not only shown you how to create a Linux machine, I also have shown you how to connect to that Linux machine using a terminal called as Putty. Perfect. Perfect. So let's come back to our agenda. What's our agenda for today's session? So today's session, we have learned how can we create a Linux machine. You know what is PuttyGen and Putty. Putty is a terminal finally using which you'll be connecting to Linux machine, but Putty needs a PPK file, and that PuttyGen is used for generating that particular PPK file. So that part is done. Now, I want to discuss about the concept of web server. I want to discuss about the concept of web server, especially non-technical people. Okay, don't worry about this technical jargons first. You should never worry about the technical jargons. Please understand the concept. It is as simple as that. Now we are going ahead and understand the concept of web server. Look at the theory. A web server is a program that uses HTTP protocol to serve the files from web pages to users in response to their request. A web server is a program which will serve the files whenever you request. That's it. Examples of web servers are Apache HTTPD server and Microsoft IIS server and Nginx server, HTTPD. These are all examples of web servers. Let's make the concept of web server simplified. Let's make the concept of web server simplified. I want to have a quick question. I want to have quick interaction with some of the participants. Jyoti Shanmugam, is that okay? Can we have a talk to understand the concept of a web server? You are allowed to unmute yourself. So Jyoti, can we have a talk to understand the concept of web server? Nobody wants to talk to me? Manish. Dinesh, can we have a talk?
Yes, sir.
Dinesh, can we have a talk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are trying to understand what do you mean by web server. Okay.
Sir.
Dinesh. Okay. I have an ICICI Bank account. Okay. I want to log into internet banking. Dinesh, I have an ICICI Bank account. I want to log into internet banking. So generally what we open the site icicibank.com. Am I right, Dinesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So from my personal laptop, try to understand the concept of web server. From my personal laptop, I'm opening a browser. Okay. In my
Sir.
Google Chrome, I'm opening a browser. I'm using a URL icicibank.com, isn't it?
Sir.
Okay. So when I open the bank.com, look at the response I should get. Look at this. Am I getting a response?
Yes, sir.
Am I getting yes? You
Yes.
are getting a response and you're getting a web page. Agree or not? This is nothing but a web page. Agree
Yes,
or
sir.
not? Isn't it? Okay. So not only me, even you open ICICI Bank, Dinesh Chari, you also get the same page. Do you agree or not? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So from my browser, from my Google Chrome, if I'm opening ICICIbank.com, from where I'm getting that particular, assuming that web page is a HTML page or PHP page, where exactly the pages are available. The pages are available. Whenever you open a website, the request will go to web server. Web server. A web server is nothing but deliver the web page. It serves you the web pages.
It acts as an intermediate.
Yes, web server. The request will go to web server.
Sir.
So when you from your laptop, from your personal laptop, if you open ICICIbank.com, the request will go to the same web server, isn't it? Yes, you may be in India, you may be in a different location. So
Yes,
web
sir.
server is nothing but a program. What it will do, it will accept the request. Okay. And
Yes,
then
sir.
in response to the request, it will deliver the web pages, whether it is a login page or a mini statement page or contact us page, whatever it is. Okay. A web server, in the web server, what we'll have all the web pages. Okay. So login page as well as a mini statement page or contact us page. So you'll have all the pages in the web server. So web server is as simple as that. A web server is nothing but a program which accepts a request. In response, you get the pages. In response, it will deliver the pages. That's called as web server. A server is nothing but accepting the request and deliver the pages, isn't it, Dinesh?
Yes,
Am
sir.
I clear in simple words explaining you the concept of web server? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Examples of web server. Examples of web servers are what, Dinesh?
All
Examples
websites.
of web servers are Apache, HTTP server, Internet Information Server. Nginx is an example of web server. HTTPD examples of a web server. Web server will take the request in response. In response, it will deliver the web pages. Clear, Chari?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Okay.
Sir, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes. Tell me.
Actually, I have passed in 2020, sir.
Okay.
I have done in a company as an Android developer.
Currently, you're working or not?
So currently, I was not working. So due to the COVID, they have removed all the employees.
How many months you have worked?
So I have experience of 7 months.
Okay. Fine.
And I want to move to the AWS technology, sir.
Did
I was
anybody suggested to learn AWS, or you yourself have selected this technology?
Actually, I was interested from my college timings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have good knowledge on cloud technology also.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell
Sir,
me a
is it-
question.
Sir, is it possible to get as a fresher?
Yes, definitely. Okay, as a fresher, you have to select one technology and master it rather than going for traditional technologies like Java or whatever it is .NET. Go for latest technologies. Okay, always latest technologies will have better opportunities, cutting edge advantages when compared to other. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
having this skill sets in your resume will help you. Okay.
I have basic knowledge. I mean, I have knowledges on some of the services in AWS.
Oh, you already know all this.
Yes, sir, somewhat.
What are the
I mean,
services you know?
Sir, I know about this and SNS
Mhm.
and Alarm
Okay.
and VPN.
Okay.
Sir, VPC, virtual private VPN only,
Mhm.
and notifications. And I can't say the names at present, but
Okay.
I know
So
some
these
of
are the
them.
few services which you are aware of. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So hopefully this training will give you complete exposure. Okay. Towards
Yes, sir.
AWS. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you.
So we are very clear in understanding the concept of web server. So web server is a program which takes the request and responds to the pages. Okay. Now what I want to do, I have created Linux machine. It's up to you. How do you want to use this Linux machine? If you install Nginx or IIS or HTTPD, this becomes a web server. How do you want to use this Linux machine? When you install a web package, it becomes a web server. If you install Oracle, it becomes a database server. As of now, it's a plain Linux machine, empty operating system. That's it. How do you want to use this operating system? If you install Oracle, it becomes a database server. Are you understanding? If you install Tomcat, it becomes a Tomcat server. If you install HTTPD, it becomes a web server. How do you want to use it? I want to use this as a web server. So I install the web package. Which web package I want to install? In this example, I'm showing you HTTPD. I want to install this HTTPD. HTTPD is an example of web server. When I install HTTPD, it becomes a web server. As simple as that. Okay. So how can we install HTTPD? Let's proceed. HTTPD stands for HTTP daemon, is a software program that runs as a background as a web server. What HTTPD will do, it will accept the incoming request. Incoming request is nothing special. If you open a website, something like a www.iccibank.com or flipkart.com, the request will go to web server. So web server will wait for the incoming request, and it will answer the request by sending you HTTP multimedia documents as well as images as well as audio files, whatever it is, over the internet using HTTP protocol. That's it. That's very simple. It's a small program which will wait for the request. It accepts the request and deliver the pages whatever you want. When you click on login page, it will deliver the login page. It will, when you click on contact us link, it will deliver the contact us page. So that's the response of HTTP. So let's install this HTTPD. How can we install the HTTPD? Okay. Let's connect to the Linux machine. These are the commands which you need to follow to install the machines. Okay. Did we connect it? Are we connected? I think we have not connected. So let's connect. Open the terminal called as PuTTY. PuTTY key generation is a one-time process. We don't do it again, generate again and again. It's one-time process. Once it is generated, we don't use PuTTY gen. Now you always use PuTTY. This is the Linux machine which you want to connect. Pick up the DNS username at the DNS, and then mention where exactly your authenticate PPK file. Okay. Connected. Let's increase the font size for better visibility. Perfect. I have connected to the Linux machine. Okay. Now I want to install a web package. This is something very important. You need to, again, there's one small topic which I want to discuss now. In Windows, let's say in your personal laptop, if you install any software, how do we do that? In Windows, if you want to install any software, let's say you want to install some Notepad++, or you want to install some Google Chrome, you want to install Acrobat Reader, you want to install any software. So what do you do in Windows, in your personal laptop? Whatever you want to install, we open Google and you search for the application, whichever you want to install. For example, you want to install Skype, isn't it? So if you want to install Skype in your personal laptop, so whatever you want, you can do that. Select the Skype for communication. What you do, how to install it, you will open the browser and you click on the download option. So the application will be downloaded. It will be generally an exe file. When you click on this, next, it will be installed. That's how we install applications on Windows machine. But how can we install it on Linux? How do we install any application in Linux? Okay, we do that using a repository. We do that using the repository. Okay, the name of the repository is yum repository. A repository is nothing but a warehouse of packages. When I say package is nothing but a software. Linux community are maintaining repositories. A repository is having millions of packages. Package is nothing but softwares. Whenever you want to install a particular software, in our case, I want to install HTTPD. In our case, you want to install HTTPD. When you want to install HTTPD, from where you have to install? You should not install it from Google. That's not the right way in Linux. It's all about terminals. There's no GUI. It's all about, you need to deal everything with terminals in the enterprise level. So whatever you want to install, whether you want to install HTTP or D or whatever it is, you have to install it from the repository. From the repository is already having all the packages. Linux community is maintaining the repository. So whenever you want to install a specific package, whether it could be Tomcat you want to install, whether you want to install WebLogic or you want to install HTTPD, whatever you want to install it, you have to install it from the repository. Visualize a repository is nothing but a very big warehouse, which is collection of thousands and millions of packages. Packages are nothing but softwares. Whenever in Linux, whenever using a term called package, that means you should understand there's nothing but a software. I want to install HTTPD package. I want to install HTTPD package. What is HTTPD? It's a Linux, it's a web server. I want to install it. From where I have to install it? You have to install it from the repository. What's the name of the repository? Yum repository. Look at this. Yum repository is a warehouse of Linux softwares. Thousands of softwares are available in the Yum repository. Sometimes the software you want to install may not be available in operating system by default. By default, you will get only limited number of softwares. If you want to install some additional softwares, in such cases, we go for using yum repository. Okay, we can install the software from the on the Linux machine using the syntax yum install package name. Syntax yum install package name. Look at this. Look at this. Yum install httpd. That means I'm installing httpd. What is httpd? I already have discussed this. httpd is nothing but a web server. So how to install web server in your Linux operating system? By this is a statement yum install httpd -y is nothing but it will ask you, I mean, are you sure you want to install it or not? That option you will not read it immediately. You're writing -me. That means I'm sure I want to install it. Okay, so this is the command to install it. And whenever you want to install the package, it's always a two-step process. First, update the repository. First, you have to update the repository, then only install the package, because you want the latest versions of the packages. Whenever you want to install any packages, whenever you want to install httpd, it's always good to have the latest version of the package. How can you make sure that you get the latest versions of the packages? How can you make sure that you get the latest versions of the package? By updating the repository. First step, you have to update the repository. You may have a question, Sunil, how can we update the repository? Yum update -y. So what I'm doing, first update the repository. Yum update -y will update the repository. You may have a question, Sunil, why are you updating the repository? We are updating the repository so that you get the latest versions of the package. So it's always good practice to update the repository. This is a statement which helps you to update the repository. And this is a statement to install the httpd. That's it. Once you install httpd, and then if you want to experience the web server, minimum you should have one web page, right? If you want to experience the web server, we should have minimum one web page. So for that web page, I'm creating a file called as index.html. I'm creating one file called as index.html because I want to showcase how exactly the web server practically happens. So I want to create one file called index.html. So that's the reason. Look at this. You have to create that HTML pages in the HTML directory. So CD stands for change directory, going to var w.html. So in this particular location, I want to create index.html. What is the content I want to place it in my index.html? I'm writing a content called my Google. So I'm creating index.html. In that particular HTML file, I'll have simple word called my Google. And then once the file gets created, I want to start the httpd. So service http start is a command which helps you to start the web package. And then check config httpd on is used to. This particular command will help you to start the httpd service automatically whenever you restart the machine. Whenever you restart the machine, I don't want to start the httpd manually. I want to start httpd automatically. So check config httpd on is making sure that the httpd package gets automatically started. So these are the commands I need to run it. Okay, so I already have connected. So let me write that commands and install the web package. First command, sudo su stands for switch user, which helps you to switch to root user. Root user is a high level user. Now I have shifted to root user. You get a hash prompt for root user. First, what I'm doing, update the repository so that we get the latest packages. Observe here, repository is getting updated. Observe here what's happening. The repository is getting updated so that once the updating is done, yes, repository get updated. After updating the repository, what we need to do, we should install httpd. This command is installing httpd. httpd successfully installed. Next, minimum one page should be there to experience the web server. So I'm going to HTML directory. And then right now, if you click on ls, there are no files, that's empty. So I'm creating index.html file. This statement will help you to create one file called as index.html file. Yes, you can see now list. Now you can see there's one file is available, index.html. Okay, you have to start the httpd. We have just installed it. We have not started. So this command will start the httpd. Successfully started. Just within a couple of seconds, the httpd package will start. And this command will help you to start whenever you start automatically whenever you restart the EC2 machine. That's it. As I have installed, friends, as I have installed HTTPD, now my EC2 machine is called as what? I can call my EC2 machine as web server. Very important point to know. Now your machine is, can be called as a web server. Okay, clear about this? Now let's experience it. Let's experience it. Now I should able to get the pay. Now I want, now our Linux machine is a web server because I have installed web package. I have created index.html. Now it is called as web server. Now can we access the web pages? Tell me, can we access the web pages like from your personal laptop? From your personal laptop, open Google Chrome. From your personal laptop, Google Chrome, and try to access this particular EC2 machine. Try to access this web server. How do you access the web server? Very simple. Take the public IP. Take the public IP of the EC2 machine. This is the public IP 13.127.94.124, and then copy that particular IP address in the Google Chrome and respond in the, when you press enter, the request will go to that particular IP address, isn't it? From my laptop, the request will go to IP address, and in response, my web server will deliver the web page. What web page? We already have the web page created. Am I right? We already have a web page created. So tell me, friends, do you get the web page or not? Please respond in the chat box. Now I am opening the IP address. I have picked up the IP address. I have picked up the IP address. You can see it now. Press enter. So the request will go to that particular EC2 machine, which is somewhere in the Mumbai. And then that already file is having index.html. Look at the response. Please look at the response. Are you getting the web page? See? Are you getting the web page? No, we are not getting. It's still processing. We are not getting the web page. We are not getting the web page. There's some problem. Why are we not getting the web page? Try to understand. Why are we not getting the web page? From your browser, you're opening Google Chrome and you're trying to enter the IP address, and that means you should get the response. We are not getting the response because browser communicates using HTTP port. Browser communicates using what port? HTTP port. You have opened the port, no doubt. But what port we have opened? SSH port. SSH port is used for connecting using PuTTY. PuTTY uses SSH port, but browser like Google Chrome does not use SSH port. It uses what port? HTTP port. So that means you should open one more port. You should open one more port, boss. What port you need to open? This time you should open one more port. What port you need to open? You need to open HTTP port. Yes. Because HTTP browser communicates using HTTP protocol. How to open security groups? HTTP port. You can deal with ports using the security group. That's the reason we have provided a name to the security group. So that you can refer it and make modify. You can increase the ports, or if you want to add the ports, you can remove the ports. Dealing with the ports can happen using the security group. Do you remember the name of the security group which we have created is sample SG8? Sample SG8. So you, as you now know the name of the security group. So this is the instance which you have created. Scroll down. Okay. Go to security tab. Here you can see the name of the security group, sample SG8. That's the name of the security group, sample SG8. You can see the security group here. Click on the security group. Okay. Click on the security group and then edit inbound rules. And you can also clearly see that right now your security group is opening only one port, that is SSH port. I'll be adding one more rule. Okay. What rule I am adding? I am adding HTTP port and then from anywhere. Okay, so anybody in the world can communicate using HTTP protocol. I have added this port. I'm saving the previously only one port is open, SSH port. Now I'm adding two ports. One is SSH, other is HTTP. Save rules. I have opened the port. What port I have opened? Now I have opened the HTTP port. As I have now opened the HTTP port, I again pick up the IP address from my EC2 machine. This is the EC2 machine, Linux machine. I have picked up the public IP address. Okay. I am opening from the browser. As I have opened the HTTP port, the request will go to web server. Am I getting the web page? Yes or no? Am I getting the web page? So it may be as simple as my Google page, or it could be as complex as Facebook page. But concept is web server. We have experienced ourselves the concept of creating the web server. I am copy pasting the IP address in the chat box. I'm copy pasting the IP address in the chat box. Pick up the IP address from the chat box, and you try it from your Google Chrome or whatever it is from your browser. And then not only me, anybody in the world can connect to my web server. We have successfully created. Are you successfully able to connect to the web server? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. Excited? Are you excited? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. We yourself have successfully configured a web server. As simple as that. If you beautifully create a login page or using PHP or website, yes, that becomes that web server. You get that. Are you understanding? That's it. So don't worry about the technical jargons. Let's make the technology simplified. Not only me, now anybody can connect to my web server. That's how I have designed my EC2 machine. Clear? Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Thank you very much. Let's stop the chat. So where are we standing in our agenda for today's session? So did we meet our agenda for today's session? Yes, you now know. Creating a Linux machine. You know how to create a Linux machine. Please do hands-on. Create an AWS account if you have still not yet created. And then you know what is a putty. Use a putty is used for communicating to the Linux machine. Once you're done practicing, please disconnect the connection by clicking on exit. One more time, click on exit. Yes. And then you have installed a web server. And then what is a web server? Web server will deliver the web pages whenever you request it using the browser. And you have installed Webpack. You know the importance of security groups. So you can add the ports, you can remove the ports, you can deal with the ports of a specific EC2 machine by using the concept of security group. Okay. If you want more details, not technical details, if you want to talk to our management, please give a missed call to this particular number 080353754141. Please prefix 0 here. 0 is mandatory. Take up this number, and then if you want to have some questions, you want to interact with our management, you could give a missed call to this particular number. Our team will call you back, or you can also send an email with your concerns so that our team will reply to your concerns. Clear? So this is our agenda for today's session. I hope you have enjoyed the session today as planned. So let's have a couple of interaction so that we can end the session. Vamsi Krishna, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Vamsi?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yes, your question, please.
I don't have any questions, sir. Your teaching is excellent, sir, actually.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Vamsi.
Sir, is it enough to getting a job for AWS enough for? I have DevOps also completed, sir, actually.
Then that's enough. Yes, right. Okay.
Sure.
How do you know about this training?
My friend is DevOps in 71 batch. He forwarded.
He forwarded you. Okay, thank you, Vamsi. Any technical questions? Let's talk. Deepak Varmani.
Hi, Sunil, how are you?
I'm doing well, Deepak. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah,
Yes.
actually, my question was like if there is any possibility that we are not getting that package we want to install.
Okay. No, these are the popular packages. Definitely, it will be available on the repositories. There's no concept that is not available. Okay. You will never come across it. Okay. This is the only way. This is the only way you can install it. Okay.
No, actually, like as you said, this is popular package. If we are not like we are trying to install any package which is not popular, so is it possibility like it will not be there, or we can find any package in?
You can find any package, not a problem. There's no concept of not available. Okay, Deepak.
Thanks.
Sandeep Mishra. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunil. Hi.
Hi. How are you, Sandeep?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Yeah. Your question.
Yeah. So my question is that what is the SSH port and why we require that? Like we need to open the something related to when we are
Okay.
install the
Now
Linux.
your question is why do we need SSH port? Okay. Now before that, I have a question for you. Why do we need HTTP port? Tell me. Can you
So the any web page from our Windows machine, like from the browser. At that time, we need to require the HTTP port.
So browser
so that-
browser communicates using HTTP port. Agree? How does PuTTY communicates?
Okay.
PuTTY
so for
needs
the
what? PuTTY communication happens using SSH port. Okay. So PuTTY uses SSH port. Did we connect to that Linux machine using PuTTY? Sandeep, we have done that, isn't it?
yeah.
How are you able to connect PuTTY? Because you have opened SSH port. SSH port terminals communicate using SSH and the browsers communicate using HTTP. Okay, clear, Sandeep?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Good morning, Srinivas Reddy.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I have one doubt. If we have the more requests, how we can
more request is nothing, but your doubt is when there are more number of people accessing the website, okay?
Yeah, it's correct.
Because of the load, the server goes down, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's your question.
Yeah, like Facebook.
So how do we, if at a time 1,000 users are opening this particular website, okay, the application goes down. So how do we make sure that the application does not go down? In such case, we need to go with the concept of load balancer frameworks. Okay, that's our plan for tomorrow's session. So load balancer will accept the request and distribute the traffic to the EC2 machine so that the complete load will not be taken to one EC2 machine. It gets distributed to multiple EC2 machines. That's our plan for a tomorrow session. Please do not miss tomorrow's session. Tomorrow is one of the most important classes because we are experiencing the concept of load balancer to eliminate the downtime. Okay, so that we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay.
Okay, sir. And one more question.
Yeah.
Like I am in backup more than 12 years. So if I want to switch, then what I should learn?
Yeah, I recommend to learn as you're from the operations team. I recommend you to learn DevOps also. Combination
Okay,
of
any programming is needed? Anything?
No. This is not a programming. There's no programming in DevOps also. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Srinivas,
and
how
I'm
do you
not
got
able.
to know?
I'm not able to join that DevOps group.
We have not started DevOps group. Okay, right now there's only AWS group.
No, just you have given some link, right?
That is AWS group.
Okay.
You are able to join?
Yeah, I'm in AWS group.
75. This is batch number 75.
Yeah, I'm in, but you have provided one link, right? So
that is for participants who are not in the group. Okay.
Okay.
You are already in the set. All the participants who are not in the batch number 7. This is batch number 75. If you're not in the batch number 75, please, I just provided the chat link. Please join to that particular chat.
Yeah. Thanks, Sunil.
Thank you, Srinivas. Okay. Yeah. So how do you got to know about this?
Yeah, my friend has given this link.
Okay. Thank you, Srinivas. How is your learning?
It's good.
Thank you. Please do hands-on also. Okay.
Yeah.
Priyanka V.
Hey, hi Sunil. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, my question is 3-4 years before I have created AWS account, I had some brief knowledge that time, and I didn't use much in between. But so yesterday when I wanted to practice the things that you have mentioned, I tried to reset my account, and now am I allowed to use all those free tier services, or do I have to create new account with new email ID?
Please create a new account with new email address. Okay.
Okay, so I can use my old phone number, right? Same
phone number, you can use it. The same debit card, you can use it. Same mobile number, you can use it. Okay. Better to use a new email address. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you. That helps.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Murali K. Korantla. Can you hear me? Murali, I can see your hand raised. Any questions, Murali? Please unmute. Rahman. Good morning, Rahman.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes.
My question is regarding the connection which we are using.
Your question is
Can we
regarding
use IP connecting the EC2 machines?
connecting to EC2 machine. Yeah.
Yeah, we can use the remote desktop, right? You are using the DNS address. In case of the DNS address, can you use the IP which provided there?
Yeah, you can do that. That's not a problem. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Rahman.
Yeah.
Thank you. Last question before we end the session. Mudassar. Good morning, Mudassar.
Morning, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
We can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay, so yeah, just one thing I wanted to know that just hold on, I just missed out on this. Can I get back to you? Just
Yeah,
return it
no
over.
problem. No problem. Ashwini Kumar, your question. Subhash Gupta, any question? I can see your hand raised. You have to unmute and talk.
Hi, Sunil. Good morning.
Good morning, Subhash. How are you?
I'm fine, Sunil. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yes.
My doubt is we are connecting to our server. I mean, we are sending the request through HTTP port, and our Linux machine is connected through SSH port. How these both communicate?
No. No. There's small change in your question. Please repeat your question.
We are sending a request through HTTP port.
No. We are sending a request through browser.
Yeah, browser.
Browser automatically uses HTTP port.
Okay.
Did you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Our machine, I mean, our Linux
machine is also opened HTTP port. We have open HTTP port now. Can you see? Okay. Did we open HTTP? How many ports we have opened in our Linux machine? Subhash?
2 ports, SSH port and HTTP port.
So browser, when you're opening the browser will use which port?
HTTP port.
Yes, perfect. Next.
Okay, so our browser is opening sending requests through HTTP port,
exactly.
And our Linux machine is having both SSH port and HTTP port.
Yes.
So they communicate directly from HTTP. Linux automatically opens our website through the SSH port.
No. Don't get confused. Browser will use which port?
HTTP.
HTTP port. That's very clear. Okay. Are we connecting to the Linux machine using PuTTY?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
PuTTY will use which port?
SSH port.
That's it. Both are independent. Okay.
Okay.
Both are independent. Don't think that SSH will use HTTP will use SSH. No, both are independent. If you remove SSH port, what will happen? You cannot connect using PuTTY.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remove SSH port, you cannot connect using PuTTY, but you can connect using browser because HTTP browser needs HTTP ports. Both are independent. Okay. Am I clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Clear, Subhash? Okay.
Yes. And one more doubt.
Yeah.
See, now we have in our HTTPD, we are only having
one page that is called index.html. Okay.
Yeah. If we are having multiple
pages, yes, you can create index.html page, login.html page, services.html page. Like in website, we have multiple pages, like contact us page. Okay. So if you know website designing, you can create all those pages and create links with each other, and then that website will be open. Okay.
Okay.
And the links will work.
But we have directly connected through our one address, right?
You have connected using
a particular address, right?
IP address.
Yeah, IP address.
Okay.
Will there be different?
But in the real time, we will not connect using IP address. We connect using something like www.somexyz.com. Am I right?
Yeah.
So how do we link this particular domain name to the IP address. That is possible by using Route 53 service. We'll see that soon. Okay.
Okay,
Later.
sure. Thanks.
Okay, Subhash.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sandeep.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this in training. Most important, tomorrow we'll be discussing about the concept of load balancer. Okay. Stay tuned for tomorrow's class.
Hello, Sunil. Hello.
Yes. Yes. Who is this?
Murali, this is.
Yeah, Murali. How are you?
Sorry for not recording for that. And actually, I'm present and Cognizant solution in working in as a network engineer.
Cognizant.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to move to AWS.
AWS. Okay.
Yes. I'm new for this.
Okay, not a problem. You are able to understand, right?
Yes, I am able to.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Murali. Thank you very much. Thank you all, and see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Thank you.